Bracket orders are very popular in India mainly because of the fact that they offer very high leverage. But unfortunately, that's the only aspect most traders think about. In this session, we will discuss some very important facts you need to know before using bracket orders. First thing first, what are bracket orders? Bracket orders are basically three orders packed into one. So let's say you want to buy a stock at 100 rupees and for that you place an order. We'll call this order as your primary order. Along with your primary order, you also have to place two more orders. One of them is called the target order or the profit order, which is basically telling the system that if the stock goes up to a certain level, let's say 130 in this case, I want to book my profit. The other order is for protecting your losses and it is called stop loss order. So by placing a stop loss order, you're telling the system that if the stock goes against me, let's say 95 in this case, I want to cut my losses and come out of this trade. So all these three orders, your original primary buy order, the target order for booking profit, and the stop loss order for cutting losses put together in one bundle are called bracket order. One of the interesting features of bracket orders is that between the target order and stop loss order, if any one of them gets triggered, the other one gets cancelled automatically. So if your trade worked out in your favor and the target order gets executed at 130 rupees, the stop loss order will automatically get cancelled. You don't have to manually go and cancel it. On the other hand, if the stock goes against you and the stop loss order gets triggered, the target order will get cancelled automatically. Now it may not look like a big positive, but trust me, I have seen a lot of people, including myself, who have left pending orders in the system and those pending orders got accidentally triggered without our knowledge, causing some significant losses. The next thing we need to understand is that why bracket orders have high leverage. Leverage, that is the ability to take trades higher than your trading capital, is provided by your broker, such as Zerodha, Sharekhan, ICICI Securities, etc. These brokers are basically loaning you money to take bigger trades. The reason these brokers provide higher leverage to bracket orders as compared to regular intraday orders is because of this right here. You see, when you place a bracket order, it is mandatory to specify the stop loss. Not only you have to specify the stop loss, it has to stay within the 2% of your entry price. It means that you cannot take a loss of more than 2% of your traded amount. So because of these strict stop losses, the brokers can be assured that you will not be incurring some significant losses in the trade. Therefore, the risk to broker is limited and clearly defined, and that's why brokers give 10 times, 20 times and even 40 times leverage for bracket orders. Now that we have understood what bracket orders are and why they have been given such a high leverage, let's understand the pros and cons of bracket orders. First, we will start with the pros. The biggest and the most obvious benefit of bracket orders is the leverage they provide. As I mentioned earlier, some brokers even provide 40 times leverage for bracket orders. So for those with relatively low trading capital, bracket orders provide hope that they can generate decent returns from the stock market even with a modest capital. The second benefit that I really like about bracket orders is the feature of trailing stop losses. When the stock starts moving in our direction with the help of a trailing stop loss, we can automatically keep moving the stop losses as well, hence protecting our profits. So in our case, let's say we define the trailing stop loss as 10. If the stock starts to move up from 100 rupees to 110 rupees, the stop loss will automatically move up from 90 to 100. When this happens, you have basically protected your downside by 10 points automatically. In the same way, if the stock goes up to 120, the stop loss will go to 110 and so on and so forth. This is a very good feature of bracket orders and I highly recommend traders to use it. The third, and this is probably more of operational benefit of a bracket order, is that you don't have to keep monitoring them all the time. Since the target order and the stop loss orders are already present, you know exactly what your maximum profit is going to be and what your maximum loss is going to be. So if you have to step out of your house or go to a meeting or do something which involves you to step out from your computer, you don't have to worry too much about it. Also, brokers like Zerodha auto square off these orders towards the close of the market, so you don't have to worry about closing your position as well. So these were the benefits of bracket orders. Now let's see the cons, the disadvantages of using bracket orders. The biggest disadvantage of bracket orders is that many traders, especially beginners, take excessive risk in trades and hence lose a lot of money. I have seen traders take 20 lakh worth of trade with only 1 lakh capital. And yes, these trades are very risky, and even a slight adverse movement in the script can cause some significant damage to their trading capital. I have seen people losing 20%, 50%, and even 80% of capital in one day. Not only one day, in one trade. Now, technically, it's not the fault of the bracket orders as much as it is the fault of the trader. But the fact is that bracket orders are misused heavily, and the temptation to make quick money kills the career of several budding traders. The second limitation of bracket orders is that they cannot be placed for most of the option trading. For example, as of today, Zerodha doesn't offer bracket orders for Bank Nifty options, stock options, currency options, and commodity options. These rules might be different for different brokers, but I have seen these kind of restrictions with almost every broker. The third thing that I don't like about bracket orders is the brokerage charges. The bad news is that there are brokers that will charge you brokerage on every leg of execution. So if you place an order of 1000 units and that order got executed in 5 parts, you will have to pay the brokerage 5 times. So if you are using bracket orders regularly, you will have to keep an eye on the brokerage charges. The fourth con is more of an experience that myself and my traders had in the past couple of years. Several traders that I've worked with have reported issues in modifying and exiting the bracket orders. And it can get very frustrating when you have to modify your target of bracket order, but the system is not responding. Again, this is based on the personal experience, and you might want to see how your broker does when it comes to the bracket order modification and exits. The fifth disadvantage is that modifying and exiting from a position can become very tricky if the order got executed in several legs. So again, going back to the same example, if you placed an order for 1000 and that got executed in 10 different legs, then you have to basically go and execute each and every order separately. And if you decide to do it in one shot, then you will have to take the market price, which can sometimes be very adverse. Alright, having discussed the pros and cons of bracket orders, let me close the session with my advice. Number 1. If you are someone who has problems controlling your emotions and you tend to take much bigger losses than originally planned, I think bracket orders are great for you. Because the stop loss is mandatory, it will force you to cut a bad position as soon as the predefined limit is reached. That way you don't have to make the decision yourself. Number 2. Before using bracket orders for large trading quantities, test them out in small quantities and see if you are satisfied the way they work. As I mentioned, you will have to deal with multiple legs of the same trade and probably some other technical issues. So instead of getting frustrated or stuck in a bad large trade, better make sure you know how to deal with them. Number 3. Don't be greedy. I know it is kind of obvious, but the reality is that every day thousands of traders take excessive leverage because their brokers allow them to. Think about it like this. If you go to a buffet that offers unlimited liquor, should you be drinking much more than your capacity? No, right? You have to know your own limitation. In the same way, it doesn't matter what leverage the broker offers. You should not be taking trades beyond your risk tolerance capacity. Remember that leverage might be free from the broker, but it is still your money on the line, not the broker's money. Alright guys, this is it. I hope you learned something new today. If you have any questions related to bracket orders or stock market in general, feel free to ask those in the comment section below. Also, if you are new, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we are making this channel India's biggest online library for stock market videos. Stay tuned.